As an example, there's so many models across the country. I think for me, it's really about several things. One is we want to educate students to high level, right? And we want to make sure that when students leave the Minneapolis Public Schools, as I said earlier, it doesn't matter where they go, that they leave and they're ready to go out to any post-secondary opportunity or workforce. And what I know is that there are a lot of students who are in that community who are not choosing the Minneapolis Public Schools, and I feel like we can be a quality school option for that community. And I believe that we can provide a high-quality education. The current existing model is not working, and I'm interested from the community outreach and from what I've heard from folks that they're willing to roll up their sleeves and do the hard work to not only to help design a program, but also have a strong program and presence still in the community for students and families to choose so they don't have to leave their neighborhoods. Because you shouldn't have to, right? You shouldn't have to leave home. You shouldn't have to go somewhere else to get a good education.
Why the need for this versus just redoing North, or just taking your ideas and keeping North open and going forward that way?
But it is. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it's a phase out and a bring in. So I guess I'm not picking up on the nuance in your question there, because
why don't you just phase in, you know, your future plans for this new North into the current North?
Oh, well, why don't I just go wave my wand and do it myself, is what you said. well, here's what I do take. I feel like this is a unique opportunity that we haven't done before in this district. And it's an opportunity to work with the community to create a program that quite frankly, some of the things and ideas I may have, but when you get that community buy-in, that community investment, how much more powerful can it be? And how empowering can it be to a community to be able to be a part of something that comes back and is strong in your community and families choose. So that, you know, makes me feel good, and I think also makes the community feel good about itself.
We got two more. We got Tom and we got Margot, and then we want to give the superintendent an opportunity to do some one-on-ones if you'd like.
It seems like a larger elephant in the room is that all 7 high schools have lost 20% of their population in 6 years, cumulative. That there might not be enough students for 7 high schools, and that might have been one of the reasons to consider closing a high school. So if you're going to be reopening and you have this other charter school opening next year, the fact that you have declining enrollment, do you not still have a space issue on with high schools on your hand in terms of overcapacity?
Well, that's interesting because some of our high schools are over capacity, as you may know. And I think the other thing that's really important is that if you think about this part of the city, we have a lot of students who are leaving Minneapolis Public Schools to go to other high schools. Well, you know, why don't we bring them back home? Or why don't we make a strong option for them in the district so they never leave? And so I believe that if you think about this not in a scarcity mentality, but certainly think about the potential and the students in the community as an opportunity to bring people back. And so I think we're in a unique place in time to create a strong program, and parents will select these schools. If you look at the overall numbers across the district, and some of the schools are really bulging. I mean, just really bulging. And you just never know. I'm going off your question here now, I'm sorry. I'm sitting here thinking about something.
Do you still not have an overcapacity issue down the line?
If you look at, probably not as much as you think because we've been co-locating programs. You know, if you look at even North High, we have Dunwoody located in there. We have the adult basic education program. We have the Mother's TAP program in that building. So that's brought that building up to more of a capacity than we had when we didn't have those programs there. So I don't think space is always an interesting thing. And the enrollment piece, I want to talk about the enrollment. Our actual enrollment across the system is really kind of leveling off, quite frankly. And we have, for the first time in years, retained more 9th graders than we have in previous years, as well as kindergartners and 6th graders. And so at those transition grades, we are retaining families. And so what we have to do is keep that same type of trajectory, as well as start to look at the families who are making choices outside of our city. We need to start being competitive. We need to start aggressively recruiting those families and bringing them to Minneapolis Public Schools and letting them think about us as an option and not just going outside the system.
Final question.
Okay. At particularly the last meeting that was held at North, there were a lot of parents and educators who came forward and said that they wanted to contribute time and effort and that they'd come into the classroom and teach. And then there were others who said that they had offered that kind of thing in the past and been rebuffed. Can you comment on the overall level of trust or the, just what goes into making a decision as to who gets to contribute to the child's education?
Well, certainly parents get to contribute, and I think the trust is really low right now, and it's something that we have to keep from one action at a time, proving that we are really serious about this work, and you can only do that by action, not by words. I would say that part of the process in thinking about the model and how we engage people in mentoring and tutoring will also be a part of that. It's going to be really important for all the families and the community members that got bespoke. I wrote down every person's name and every comment they made. I have the file folder with every email that I received, and I have a list of all the phone calls and the comments that people have made. And those people will be the ones that we will continue to call on and connect with. I called a couple of people and said, tell me what you're thinking. What do you believe will make this school a better school? And quite frankly, from all of those phone calls, all of those emails, is why I'm here today making this statement, that we are interested in partnering with the district, and I'm quite excited about it.
Thank you all.